Hello and welcome to Social Innovation Talks, the official podcast of Benilde HIFI, where we spotlight change makers and trailblazing, shaping the better future through innovations and impact. I am your host, Earl Marquez, Communications and Media Specialist of Benilde HIFI, and we have today alumni and faculty of Benilde. So, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Okay, so hello guys. My name is Micca Amor. I'm an alumna of Benilde Fashion Design and Merchandising program. I'm also a creative director of my own brand, Love Amor Studios, and I'm also a co-founder of Constrata Leather together with Miss Tal and Vince.
Hi everyone, I'm Guzman. So first and foremost, I'm a faculty at the Fashion Design and Merchandising program of the LaSalle College of St. Benilde. So Micah was one of my students. I'm also the founder of Risque Designs, which is a social enterprise focusing on footwear. So it's been around since 2012. I also do consultancies, trainings for different companies. I'm one of the co-founders for Constrata, but also I've been doing trainings for MSMEs in the Philippines and outside the Philippines.
Alright, so let's start soft lang naman po. In terms of having na we are alumni of Benilde, so how does it reflect po sa inyo na parang ano po yung journey nyo on the creative side as a fashion designer?
Well, I think as of as an alumna of Benilde, I think the culture and the environment super very supportive and very nurturing, both the professors and also our fellow students as well. And I think they really provide us the opportunity to get the experience outside, just not just inside the school, even outside the school as well. And I feel like they also offer the the best connections in terms of the industry. So.
Um, well, I'm not a Benilde alumna, but I've been teaching in Benilde since 2021. But I've been in the fashion industry since more than a decade already. My creative journey, basically, I do like collaborations. I guess that's the reason why this all happened with Constrata. So Micah being one of my former students, I really saw potential in the material she was building for her thesis, which was the bio leather using wool and algae. But now we decided to collaborate it again with another alumna of DLSU naman, si Vince. So he was the one who came to me before. He was already developing his own leather using banana waste, but then medyo nahirapan siya with the development. And then it was coming to a standstill at a certain point, and then we decided to all come together. And so that was really our journey. It was a collaboration between all of us. Because me, I have also experience with developing um, other types of materials, and including plant-based leather.
Mm. So how was it on for my style? Parang how was it the experience of having the dynamics in the team na from former students to ano alam niyo fellow fashion designer na siya ganun.
How was it?
Uh,
Okay naman. I think so far we're like smooth sailing. Of course there's a change, a bit of change in dynamics, because I like because she was my student before. Of course there was a different like student teacher relationship, but um I guess as we go along, I'm hoping that she feels more that I'm treating her as like an equal. We're like parehas tayong co-founders. So, and also for Vince, like, because he came to me as some sort of trying to ask for mentorship. So, but I wanted to be, I mean, we all learn from each other. Like, Micah's expertise is different from mine, especially with the material that she has developed. So, I respect that. And then, with that also, like, I feel masaya siya. Like, I feel like we have fun naman when we're doing our sampling, when we're developing the material. I mean, our Vince is not here. Based in Canada, but so far, I think with division of labor, even like we get to distribute it well amongst us. Yeah. What would you say about it?
Well, I think it also helps na back when I was a student, I also like Miss Tal as a professor. Hindi naman siya like yung like terror prof or anything. So I even as a student, I enjoyed having her as a professor, as a mentor. She was also my thesis advisor. Then we came up together for Constrata. I think there was just a little. Syempre kasi syempre she was my professor. So parang at first I was like medyo I was parang tinatansya ko yung levels namin lahat. And then eventually along the way it's nice kasi we respect each other's capabilities as well. Yeah.
Speaking of mentorship, kasi sakto yun din yung discussion na inlined. How was it built you na being mentored by Miss Tal and the other professors? Paano yun na-build for you having building your own brand? So, paano siya like the confidence? Is there like a boost of confidence na, kaya ko palang magtayo ng sarili kong brand? Gan. How was it being mentored?
Uh, well, I think when I was in college, parang I think they covered all the bases in like kind of starting your own brand. Because I have my own brand on Love More Studios, which is well, I make clothes. I had my first collection last year, and I think um, with Constrata naman, I think I'm very thankful for both Miss Tal and Vince because I don't have much of an experience with handling and starting like a business like this. But with their experience, parang I owe it mostly to I owe it mostly to them in terms of communicating to different people as well as like yung mga sales talker like kind of like talking and communicating to other like potential, let's say, investors. Ganun.
Alright. So, actually, ano, ako din, personally, I'm a multimedia arts graduate, but, actually, yung field ko po talaga when I graduated, or even during college was mas tambay po ako sa 8th floor tsaka sa 6th floor. So, music and fashion. So, um, being di naman po sa marami naman po ako natutunan sa multimedia arts. It's just that parang nakuha ko lang din yung forte being mentored also by working with fashion students, and also pag may mga projects na involve yung mga fashion professors, like at least na open din yung eyes ko into fashion. So, going to like the business side, since you mentioned the business side, for Miss Tal po, parang how was it, Miss, na yung handling yung 10 years, more than 10 years na risque designs po?
Okay, so my business, I started it in unofficially 2011. 2012 siya officially nag-start. So it's been more than 10 years. Um, of course, so when I started kasi, hindi ko naman, it wasn't my first job or anything. I worked before that. I studied again, and then that's when I started my business. But it was, I would say it was not easy in the beginning, especially because at that time I was already into local textiles. But during that time, people were not yet very into or not aware of the importance, the value of local materials. And parang it was still looked upon during that time. It's just in the past years that it's become more, more glorified. It's the value has increased. People use it for events like for high value products, high value brands. Like we have events now like Artefino, Maarte. During my time when I started, the only events that were there were ano nga ba? There was already Manila Fame. There was Yabang Pinoy, some smaller bazaars, but it was tough in the beginning. But I appreciated that journey because um, I mean I wanted to add nga kanina with Micah because I really work with a lot of collaborations even when I started before and even until now. That's really a key to the things that I do. I like to collaborate. I like to learn from others, and I feel like there's more exciting things that happen if you combine um, people of different backgrounds or industries. So with Risque is also the same, and even with Constrata, I guess I don't think we will stop here with banana waste. So if there are other companies with wastes, food waste that would be interested to collaborate, then we would do that. Because this one, we have a collaborator, also a social enterprise called Villa Socorro Farm. So they are the ones producing the sa banana chips.
Banana
Yeah.
chips.
So sila yung kaano namin, ka-partner dito.
So how was it, Miss? In terms of, let's talk about still risque design, but more on the maintaining the brand.
Yeah, so right now kasi so I do have the manufacturing aspect. So before it was just design. So until 2014, it was a design business. I was having someone else manufacture the designs, but now we actually do manufacture for other brands as well. So I have my own production studio in Marikina. I manufacture for my brand and other brands. I also teach people how to make shoes.
Nakita ko po yan.
So may workshops ako.
May workshops.
And then I also do, ayun, so even teach them how to start their own shoe business. So there. So it's I love that journey. Like parang I feel like it's always just evolving, but you're moving around the same areas in a sense, but they're all connected. This one, tong Constrata, it's part of my long-term parang plan. I kind of hatched the idea of producing own materials. I think that was when I was taking my master's in Ateneo. Kasi I wanted risque sort of to have affiliated companies that would support each other. Not from the use of materials up to the end and ulit. So I wanted a lot of attached businesses or industries around it.
So, actually, parang good din po na when I heard na, uy, si Miss Tal. Actually, before that po kasi parang yung name nyo nabanggit na like, kayo po yung nagpahiram ng shoes dun sa thesis ng friend ko. So, parang, how was it po from risque design to construct? So, parang connecting it and managing it both.
For me kasi, so I've always been using leather, both genuine and man-made leather. And it's always parang kind of like an ethical dilemma for me. Every time we were in fashion, so we consume materials. So it's always like something at the back of my head that, are we part of the problem? And technically we are, because we're producing things, no? So I really wanted to push for this because there's no, parang if you're choosing genuine leather versus synthetic leather, may cons of each. But with plant-based and bio-based, hopefully it's a better like, I wouldn't want to say compromise, pero parang it's a better solution. Because we will need leather-like material regardless. So with Constrata, we want to be able to address those issues, people who don't want to kill animals, but also don't want to use plastic that is used in synthetic leather.
Those who want to use leather with value. Na
Yes.
instead of animal skins,
Instead of
it's more
animals,
sustainable.
But some kasi are being greenwashed into thinking that synthetic leather is vegan. Yes, it's not made from animals, but it's from like fossil fuels. It's made of plastic generally. So it's also still not good for the environment because it will degrade in like 2 to 3 years. It's going to die. Versus genuine leather, of course, it's gonna last longer. But again, you're killing animals. So with Constrata, we want to, at least we're working with wastes and materials that can hopefully, after the end of life of the product, it can degrade faster so that it doesn't add to the problem of, more trash.
So actually, Miss, going to Constrata po, ano po yung thoughts nyo on like collaborating with Miss Tal na from your thesis and how the team was formed? So how are you now with Constrata? Like in terms of design, how do you share po? In terms of design.
Well, I guess I'll talk about yung experience ko nung thesis. Because my thesis, kasi something similar like this. It was algae and wool biomaterial. And okay, well, I started taking an interest into this because of my textile classes. So again, si Miss Tal din, one of my textile professors din before. So it was like dyeing and yung mga, like, we call it, mga weaving, and then parang I realized na I like to, parang I'm just interested on how things are made and how textiles are made. So that's that led me into doing a whole like research rabbit hole of mga biomaterial, bioplastics, and then I did a lot of experiments as well, and uh, I was able to kind of successfully in a way make my collection out of like bio leather. But my problem, I had like a few challenges as well, and may mga problems and along the way, even after the collection was made. And I think parang I was a little bit what call this, parang nawala ng interest for a while, or like parang medyo na down ako for a while because I was doing everything by myself, and wala akong mentor or anything, walang tumutulong sa akin, or walang may expert on this industry. So yeah, it was parang 1 year medyo I was kind of thinking kung itutuloy ko ba yung gantong concept or wag na. And then until Miss Tal messaged me to kind of come up together and to start Constrata, and then now parang bumabalik na uli yung drive ko into like improving it more pa. Yeah.
Konting push pala.
To add to that, no, kasi when I met Micah in the course of her thesis, sa proj class yun na yun eh. So I didn't really see her go through the development from her previous like Korea classes. So nung dumating siya sa akin, it was already, may ano na siya, the materials were generally there already. So I really saw the potential na parang, I remember like telling her, girl, you should pursue this after. Like this is something that you can sell post college, you know, like as a real business. And I was hoping she was gonna do that. So it wasn't happening for a while. And then biglang I don't know, Vince nga approached me, and then parang sabi ko, I was connecting Vince to Micah. But then I realized, wait lang, kasi I had a previous project then with a different organization that didn't really pan out. And I was like, I wanted to pursue something that can be faster kasi we have more things in control. That one I didn't have a lot of control with. So this one, sabi ko, tara, let's just all do this. I mean, it's parang I think now we have like the combination that we need so that we can make this happen.
So how is it? How's Constrata po right? How's Constrata po right now? Right. What were the process? Ano yung naging challenge nyo on developing it?
Initially, it was I think one of the first challenges is the processing of the materials kasi it's parang I think we had like 2 tries before we kind of like sort of nagamay namin how to process the wastes in such a way that it will not take as much time, because it really takes a lot of time, especially in the beginning. We didn't know what we were doing, sort of. And then one of the challenges that we were foreseeing, actually we encountered it already during our first batch, was molds. It was an issue, and it's an issue that Micah also had with her thesis. Like she was saying earlier, her thesis she couldn't use na because it was all molded out. So that one is something that we're addressing right now. So we're also working with another Filipino company that has solutions. We're about to try it. That will make it mold-free. And even if we're planning to apply it beforehand and afterwards for maximum protection kasi it's also not harmful to the environment.
Oh. So maybe you can share po yung parang so this po namo-molds pa to or hindi na po?
This one it will eventually because it's a biomaterial. All biomaterials will eventually mold given the certain condition, humidity and everything. Pero yung first batch namin, actually we didn't take it out because the first batch actually smells a bit more because that was the batch that had more molds because we made a mistake when we were drying it out. It was in a parang colder environment and then nag-mold siya. But then eventually nawala the molds when we exposed.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is our second prototype of our bio-leather. So this one is the undyed version, meaning wala kaming nalagay na dye. And as you can see, yung texture niya is really mas kita mo yung texture niya because with Constrata, we wanted to champion yung fibers that we use, which is the banana waste, the banana peels, and the banana chunks. And like with like with the synthetic leather or vegan leather, they try as much as possible to mimic genuine leather. But with us, we wanna give the spotlight to the banana waste that we use, the fibers that we use as well. Yeah. And then this one is our second prototype, but with a little bit of dye. So same lang siya. And then everything here is malleable siya. So natatahe and nababasa rin, hindi naman siya agad nagde-degrade pag nabasa. Ayan. And then lastly, these are one of our latest prototypes, the one with dye, different dyes na siya. So we have a red one, an indigo, and a black one as well. And these are larger sheets na rin siya. Ayan. And then lastly, we also tried to work on the leathers into or some of our samples. So we tried to make it into a sandals and a pouch as well. So yeah, as you can see, yeah, this one.
Um, yeah, so we want so at this phase we're at the we're still creating few more samples.
Mm.
The next part is we're going to add the anti-mold component.
Mm.
But right now it's already very much usable for products.
Products.
Um,
How was it, Miss, on making this shoe?
the only challenge, actually, it was easy enough. Like it behaves the same way as leather.
Leather.
The only challenge initially was with adhesives, kasi shoemaking needs adhesives. So we had to have a workaround with how to manipulate the material so that we can have the parts na dumikit siya. This one, no issues naman because you can really sew on it easy enough.
How do you see, Miss, this kunwari, or like in the future, parang how do you see the mass production of kunwari nagkaroon ng demand for
Well,
this kind of leather?
first we need machines.
Machine
right
na.
now we are
Manual po.
almost everything is manual. Our only equipment is a blender.
Mm.
So, which is not even a very industrial grade one.
So drying po, air dry lang ba siya?
Right now it's air dry, but we will have a dehydrator coming in to fast track the drying process and to make it more even as well. Ayun.
So like, ano pa po ba yung any plans for the upcoming projects or pop-ups ni Constrata? Like, do you guys planning to have a design, like prototype testing?
So yes, of course. So we want to have more use cases for the materials, and then next step with that, I think, is getting it into the hands of trial users, so that we can see application-wise what will be the issues, what will be the demands, like if designers actually use it. Because we wanna, like I said, we wanted to be able to have different colors, different thicknesses, because different products would need different thickness. So we want to be able to cater to that eventually. Right now, we're working, assuming that we're going to use it for leather craft or shoes. But when it comes to, let's say, if it's clothing, it will have different parang demands in terms of the specifications.
Oh, ayun. Sige, since we mentioned like managing earlier, in terms of Constrata and everything, maybe we could ask, how was it po right now na you're managing different things, Mr.
Pala yun. Yeah, the key is just to calendar things. I wear a lot of hats. So I have my hat with Erskine, with Constrata, with teaching, with my other consultancies. I also help part time because my husband also has his own startup. He's in the transport advocacy naman, so it's done by Cycling Hub. So with bikers, so I also help with that sometimes. Yun. So for me, really the key is to calendar, schedule
Time
in
management,
advance.
big word pala
I
yung
am big
time
on
management.
that. Yeah, I'm really big on that because I cannot do any of these things. But also, I think a lot of times, the reason why I'm able to do what I'm doing right now is because with Risque, I've set it up to a point that I don't have to be there every day.
Wow.
So
The ideal
I don't really
company
need to be there at
there.
all.
Yeah.
I'm barely there anymore unless I am conducting workshops or if there's a client I really need to meet on site.
Mm.
But right now my team functions without me. But they're always in contact with me. Everything is online with us. So simple lang kami, but we have organization groups with parang mga group chat
Mm.
dun sa all our clients. Parang gano'n. So, yun. So, that's the only reason kaya ko siya nagagawa right now
Mm.
because with my main business, I'm already more hands-off. And you get to do that by, I guess, being able to delegate jobs, being able to um, kind of multiply yourself through other people. So I think that's the key always, so that you can do more things. Like you get to train people to do the things that you used to do. Yan.
Ah, sorry, na-amaze po ako. Ideal, ano kasi yun, like, if may business ka or founder ka, me myself also is also a founder but music industry, parang sobrang ideal po nung the business is working without you in there also para you also to do other things. So, how does it miss building a team? Like, yung team mo, like, syempre, it comes with, like, years already. But how is it po na you have a current
S-
stable team?
Actually, for me, my most crucial, of course, important for me yung workers namin, our artisans, the shoemakers, the people who actually make the shoes, no? But it's also important to get people to support that. So, yun yung admin team ko. So, right now, okay naman sila. We're able to function well because we have them trained. Kasi ang daming day-to-day things happening. And if I don't have them, dun mag-fall up. Kaya ko naman siya, pero parang I can't do other things. So the hardest part there was, sige, what year did I start? I think I started my master's kasi in 2018. Before nun, I had like other stuff, but I didn't have an assistant. I didn't have an assistant. Parang initially, I didn't wanna do it kasi, shucks, extra person you have to pay for. Na parang, I can do this naman eh. Like, I can do this, bakit ko kailangan? But then I realized na, there are things na you don't need to be doing yourself so that you're reserving your time for more valuable things. So that yung own time mo, kasi like, you can reserve it to things na are income generating. So if there are tasks na, let's say, pwede namang iba gumawa, pasa mo na. Pero ang tagal ko pinag-isipan yun. Like, shucks, kailangan ko ba? And then I realized na, okay, once na nagawa mo pala siya, matagal lang kasi yung kailangan mo mag-train ng iba. You really have to spend a lot of effort in training someone. Because, of course, they have to understand your work style and how you want things to happen. But after that, parang, yeah, I was able to do a lot of things. I slowly was not, before I came from a point na I have to be in the shop every day. Before that, had to be in the studio every single day at least. Kahit na parang, I have to drop by. I have to make sure things were happening. Because I had an operations manager before but wasn't so effective, ganon. So it's really about training the right people. And to be able to set up a system that will allow you to manage them from a distance. Yan.
So, parang it's really, business, kailangan talaga ng system na
Oh, yes.
operational.
Yes. And
thing.
for me, it's not me sometimes nga, it's not like formal systems. It's like systems for yourself and how you work with your team that will help them function better.
Yeah.
And you also better.
Alright, so let's talk about we're talking about founders. On your like founder journey, Miss, ano po yung time na kahit one experience lang or like what time yung parang tinanong yung sarili niyo na kaya ko pa rin ba to as a founder, or ayun po, parang may time po ba kayo na gano'n na parang
For me, it's every time that I try something new. I mean, of course, you gain confidence every time you do something that builds with your experience in different things, no? But because I'm the type of person that I like to jump into things I don't know
Yeah.
about or know little about. Then of course I encounter new challenges or of course new apprehensions and thinking na, oh, can I actually do this? Like I mean, so with Constrata, of course our issue was, okay, is it gonna work all together?
Mm.
With Risque, oh my gosh, that was a lot of questions when I started. Kasi like, when I started, I had very out there designs. Like, um, they're not the usual types of shoes na designs. So my question was, is anyone crazy enough to buy this?
Mm.
My designs back then. Who will pay this much
Much.
for this also? Because it takes so long to make. And so, of course, mas mahal din siya and all that.
May
So,
time po
those
ba kayo na
things.
parang tinanong niyo na, may bibili ba nito? Ang mahal-mahal
Yeah,
naman.
yeah, of course. But I feel like that's always a struggle na with designers. Like, how do you value yourself in your work? And I've slowly learned that over the years.
Mm.
It really depends on how much you also value it and your time in creating it, and also the perceived value in a sense that um, bakit siya mas special, and it has to do with your storytelling. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of the value you can communicate it through the way that you explain and the way that you share about kung ano bang bagay.
Mamalagay yan.
Ah,
Alright. So, on the other side naman, miss, parang inside the few question na yun, parang ano naman yung naging daily motivations or like, ano yung sinasabi mo sa sarili mo na, okay, this is me, I'm a founder. Like, what motivates you as a founder? Na nagpapa, stabilize na, ano.
What motivates me to do better? I think,
Mm.
oh, I think parang, what do you call this? Parang I wanted to kind of prove to myself every time, every single day that I could do something that I couldn't before. Parang ganon.
ako ba? I guess I don't like kasi regretting things. So that's why every time, like, I guess when I start something or wake up in a day, hindi ko naman siya iniisip like, alam mo yun, I don't do mantra things anymore. But just like, um, I mean, what can I do today that I will enjoy? I think at this point that I want to do things because I like doing them, and because I know they mean something to me or to other people. So for me, I guess siguro I can say that what makes me get up every day is knowing that things that I do have meaning, or hindi siya nothing.
Mm.
Hopefully. Yan.
Hopefully. Yes. So since we're talking about founders, so actually guys, Benilde Hi-Fi is hosting a founders bootcamp this June 11, 18, and 25. And that program will be handled by Miss Tal. So maybe Miss Tal could share about what can they expect kapag kayo na yung like sharing those on that program.
Okay, so the program is actually going to run for 3 days. So 3 days siya. Our focus is really being able to fast track um, the I guess the process of thinking about your startup, and in a way that it has impact. Kasi mayroong social entrepreneurship angle yung bootcamp natin. So it has to do, we're going to ask you things about your relevance, your impact, um, your advocacies when you do your businesses. So the 3 days will encompass from discussion to actual engagement. May activities siya. Masaya siya. I think masaya naman siya. And then we'll also have, at the end, after the 3 days, we'll be having a pitching session. So you get to pitch your business so that, parang ano ba yung, para mapakita mo rin yung journey na pinagdaanan mo doon sa bootcamp, and that mapakita mo na support niyo yung business ko or potential business, because hopefully help siya yung thinking nun doon sa process of the program.
Since you're like doing also training mess, diba, outside, how was it like encouraging other founders? Like, how was it parang from your experiences? Kamusta naman yung kapag nakikipag-usap kayo sa other founders, if you're hearing their problems also?
Yeah, I feel like yung discussions or mga engagements with other founders, for me it's always enriching kasi parang you always find something that is similar in your experiences, but at the same time meron ding iba na matututunan mo from them. So it's always a back and forth, it's always a communication, it's always you giving something, also them giving something, you learning, vice versa. So yeah, masaya siya.
So in terms of ano po yung thoughts niyo na, like ako personally, I'm having this startup and parang ang dami kong like ups and downs din. But how do you interpret in terms of yung mga founders na um, parang bigla na lang nawawalan ng gana? Parang ano yung nagiging assessment nyo dun, miss? Parang meron ba kayong study or like observation na kaya sila nagiging nawawala kasi may common may common.
Okay, siguro I'll put it in the context of the people I've mentored in the shoe industry kasi medyo madami yun. So I've been mentoring other shoe brands to start their own shoe businesses, and there are those that succeed and there are those that fail. And the one of the main things that I observed with them is that yung mga nagfe-fail, sila yung akala nila, okay, gumawa ako ng material, ng product ko, let's say shoes, gawa ako ng product ko, I launch it, and then that's it. It's gonna sell on its own. It's not that. The hard work is more after that, after you producing your products. You have to market, you have to constantly like push it forward. It's not just design, it's not just releasing a product. And the ones that I have, I've seen na nag-grow and nag-succeed, sila yung they really spent time on it. For me, that's always the key. It will succeed more if you spend more time with the business. So those na nawawala ng gana, minsan nawawalan sila ng gana kasi feeling nila, baka hindi naman bumibenta. Well, bakit ba hindi bumibenta? Kailan mo lang ba pinost yan? Parang once last month, hindi okay lang yun. Diba? So, yun. So, there are people naman na, okay, may iba na hindi nagsasucceed because they also chose the wrong partners. Or they chose to have partners when they should have been alone. So that's also a thing. That's also a common thing. Like, meron mga iba, funny mga couple pa. So may couple, tapos nag-split, tapos wala na nangyari sa business. Ganon. So meron din naman na friends sila. Hindi na sila friends afterwards. Ganon. So it's really, but I have some na they were, hindi naman sila talaga friends, but they were working, well, they're friends, but more colleagues also before. And we're very successful because they know how to work with each other. For me, that's crucial, more than friendship. Have you worked with that person already? Do you know their work ethic? Do you know how they respond to stress? Alam mo yun, or with the demands of whatever deadlines. So, yun. The ones that I've seen succeed, they know how to work well with others or their chosen founders.
Alright. So ayun guys. So for me, umattend kayo ng Founders Bootcamp next week kasi
Masaya siya.
masaya siya. Ako personally, I
activities.
would say ang dami kong tahimik moments, 'di ba? Because I'm also like minsan po kasi parang ako personally, kapag syempre as an MMA and I have to be in a specific field, parang I like listening to problems of other brands kasi doon din ako natututo. So ayun, maybe we could wrap this podcast a question that both of you could answer. So as a both a founder, but different POV, as a long-term business and like as a founder of your own brand, but for how the sorry the question is what's your advice for the upcoming founders? So student POV, yung mga pag-graduate na, tsaka POV ng mga pa-start po mag-business. And
My advice.
uh,
I think uh, with my advice for mga student founders or those who just started their business is I think just to keep going because syempre parang yung the hardest part of building a business is usually starting it, but once you get the groove parang mas mas masanay ka rin in the long run, and also to just get your get your name, get your brand out there, and to I think connections, connecting with people as well will help you and your brand as well.
For me, no, especially for those na starting, I would say, just try. Just try, just ask. Yun yung lagi ko sinasabi. Because you'll never know if it's gonna work out or not, or if it's gonna be okay or not, if you don't at least try it once. And also ask. Kasi, like, there are so many instances in my career that I shot for things that I didn't even know I had a chance for. But if you don't, then you'll never know, 'di ba? Kasi like for example, before I had a there was a competition, ano pa to, before pa Risque. Ay, actually no, when Risque was starting. There was a competition, Global Student Entrepreneurship Awards, when I studied again after working. I studied again in fashion. And then there's this competition na I joined. I was just starting Risque, like it's really just starting. And then sabi ko, I didn't even know if I was gonna get in the first round. The first round pa lang. Kasi like I was competing with people from so many different schools, you know. And it ended up I was the national champion. I was sent to the US to represent the Philippines eventually. So I went to like 3 rounds of that. But if I didn't even try, or I didn't even ask if I can do it, if I didn't ask if I can join or whatever, then I wouldn't have been able to be there at all. Even like I applied for a grant before for one of my startups na I thought it was like parang impossible for me to get. Kasi the other brand they funded before was like Rags to Riches. At that time parang I didn't feel like I was close to how big Rags to Riches were. So parang, how will I get this? So but I did. And we got it. So
Wow.
so sometimes you don't know eh.
Just
You just
do it.
put yourself out there. Oo, just put yourself out there. If you don't, then you learn something new. You learned how to go through the process. And maybe next time you can get it.
Right. Wow. So I think that's the end of our episode for today. Maybe you could promote your own socials, post a personal brand, and also Constrata also.
Yeah, okay. So okay,
Siguro lang.
so you guys can follow my brand, which is Love Lumore Studios on Instagram, and as well as Constrata Leather on Instagram.
For me, so please follow Risque Designs for our retail brand. For the workshops, please follow on Instagram at Workshops by Tal. And yes, so please follow Constrata Leather. And other than that, please also fund our crowdfunding campaign at the Spark Project. So just go to the website and then find Constrata. The least amount is as low as 500, and it's you'll get an item made of the Constrata leather. So yes, please support us.
Right. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you.
Also, I would like to promote Founders Bootcamp, hosted by Benilde Hi-Fi on June 11, 18, and 25. So the program will be conducted by Miss Tal. So again, this is Benilde Hi-Fi, and thank you very much.